very good day to everyone, and I'm really grateful once more for the opportunity to be here with you today. It's an honor to be part of this discussion because it's very timely. The gender equality and digitalization have to work together to further empower women in the times of COVID and beyond. Among the 6 action coalitions during the UN Women Generation Equality Forum, which is actually taking place as we speak in Paris, there is a call for a more equal and diverse transformation in science and technology to shape the recovery from the ongoing pandemic. Digital technologies have the potential to make significant contribution to the recovery from COVID. However, we cannot achieve success unless we tackle the digital gender gap directly. As we continue to face a global pandemic, the question has been raised as to whether technology can truly level the playing field. Asia, despite being a top hub for technology, faces a question. Does technology really benefit all of its citizens? We often say that technology is not gender neutral. Information and healthcare access has shifted to the internet, displacing those left behind. As UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres remarked, the digital gender divide has become a matter of life and death. Among low and middle income countries, 400 million fewer women have access to mobile internet, with South Asia holding the largest digital gender gap. For example, the ravages caused by the health crisis in India have revealed widespread digital inequities that have prompted organizations to connect women without internet access to healthcare and financial assistance. In India, only 1/3 of women own a mobile, compared to 2/3 of men, according to a Harvard University study. This divide is even greater for poor rural women who are likely to be less digitally literate. We may, however, see changes in the region as technology becomes more and more prevalent. Because of the COVID pandemic, an unprecedented number of women in low and middle income countries in South Asia have turned to mobile internet services for the first time. As a result, women are using online services at an increased rate due to what we call social justification, for example, to enable their children to access virtual learning services while under lockdown. As a result, 112 million more women using mobile internet last year. Women in low and middle income countries are now 15% less likely than men to use mobile internet, slightly down from 20% in 2019. There still remains a divide. However, and its consequences are apparent. For example, the availability of high-speed internet and devices such as computers and smartphones, along with internet navigation skills, significantly contributes to accessing COVID vaccines or financial assistance. This is exacerbated among women from ethnic minorities, with women with disabilities, and women living in remote communities. The rise of working from home is one of the more notable cultural changes that may have been observed. As people increasingly turn into the internet for work, school, and social activities, quarantine measures and self-isolation policies have increased internet usage between 50 and 70% during COVID. If this trend continues in the years to come, it is unclear how it will impact women workers. Older research on gender inequities on the workplace has said that an increase in remote work can benefit female employees, but others warn that it may also hinder potential career advancement and exacerbate existing gender gaps. The same risks apply to women entrepreneurs. According to a World Bank survey on the impact of COVID on women-led businesses, many are struggling to adapt to digital operations quickly, as the use of digital technologies continues to lag behind that of men, resulting in fewer women having access to services such as cash transfers, educational materials, and employment opportunities. This can also affect entrepreneurs' access to government relief programs. Historically, women-owned businesses have had less access to finance, less credit, and lower representation in accelerator programs as a result of the digital divide and long-standing cultural attitudes. Over the course of this pandemic, we have seen a disproportionate impact on small and medium-sized businesses, particularly those owned by and led by women. We believe that digital technologies present enormous opportunities for women, which is why we want to get them into their hands. Unfortunately, these same digital technologies can also become tools of oppression, discrimination, abuse, and surveillance. Because in parallel with all of this, we must also address the unfortunately growing trend of misogyny and harassment in the digital sphere. As more people turn to online spaces and digital platforms in the wake of COVID, we discovered that these spaces are increasingly being used to spread sexist, inaccurate, and harmful narratives about women, provoking hatred and potentially violence online and offline. Online harassment and threats affect women to all levels of society, including politicians, human rights activists, and everyday users. A study undertaken by UN Women shows that online misogynistic hate speech increased since COVID's lockdown and quarantine were introduced. At the height of the lockdowns in 2020, the number of tweets containing misogynistic language and references increased by 100%. Although online violence tends to be minimized, it's no trivial matter. The effects on survivors are devastating and lasting. This kind of abuse against women and girls online is associated with psychological, social, and reproductive health impacts, leading to high levels of anxiety, depression, panic attacks, loss of self-esteem, a sense of powerlessness, and withdrawal from online presence. Given these challenges, I believe we can adopt gender-sensitive COVID response and recovery policies while making sure that digital technologies can contribute to addressing the gendered impact of COVID on women. A key objective is to build the capacity of women in the region to identify, report, and block hateful content, and to promote social media literacy and counter disinformation through aligning with governments, development organizations, and researchers. In some countries, cyber harassment and stalking are not criminalized, and so we need to expand the laws to address these issues. We have also been working with our partners in the region to ensure that economic stimulus packages and other support not only target big businesses, but also workers, including in the informal sector and SMEs. Sectors as manufacturing, tourism, and hospitality, and other businesses where women are primarily employed in precarious contracts and are especially vulnerable to a global economic recession, should receive special attention. Women and girls should be encouraged to embrace digital citizenship. The potential for digital technologies to advance gender equality and ensure that no one is left behind can be realized only by increasing women's participation in leadership and in decision-making roles, as well as closing the gender data gap. In order for the digital world to reach its full potential, women must be involved. To get women's perspective and experiences widely visible inside the industry, more women leaders are needed in the technical and governance communities. A key initiative of the Generation Equality Coalition Blueprint is to double the number of women and girls working in technology and innovation. A major goal by 2026 is to eliminate the gender digital divide and provide universal access to digital literacy, in addition to investing in feminist technology and innovation to foster women's leadership. We see before us an opportunity to shape our future in a way that is more equal, diverse, and sustainable in the digital realm, following the medical and socio-economic devastation of the past year. Now is the time to act. For the sake of saving lives and securing livelihoods, closing the gender technology gap is not only the right thing to do, but it's also the wise thing to do. On behalf of Women Asia and Pacific, my sincere appreciation goes out to the speakers and our partners at APEC for their time and commitment. I'm looking forward to the engaging discussion we'll have today with the outstanding lineup of speakers. Thank you for joining us, and back to you, Julia. Thank you.